Yonder full episode Wednesday 11/27 reveals a tense and intrigue-filled backdrop, with Kyle and Victor Newman's relationship at the center of a secret war within the Newman family. The arrival of Claire, a newcomer to the Newman family, not only adds complexity to the story, but also makes the already fragile relationships more fragile than ever. Victor and the revenge plan. Victor Newman, head of Newman Enterprises, has always been known for his sharp calculations and ability to control any situation. When Jack Abbott, head of Abbott Industries and Victor's longtime rival, continues to make things difficult for the Newman family, Victor decides to seek revenge. However, instead of a direct confrontation with Jack, Victor chooses a more sinister tactic, using Jack's own son, Kyle Abbott. Kyle, despite his ability and keen vision in his work, lacks caution when faced with Victor's tricks. Although many people in the family, including Summer and Billy, have warned Kyle about working with Victor, he chooses to ignore their advice, believing that he can control every situation. But Kyle does not know that Victor never does anything without a deeper purpose. Behind the invitation to cooperate is a sophisticated plan to take advantage of Kyle's ambiguity to carry out his revenge. Everything seems to be going according to Victor's plan, but no one knows that a new character, Claire, will be the one to change this situation. Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Billy and Sally are sitting down to a fancy dinner together. But nothing is peaceful when Victor shows up. In his usual manner, Victor doesn't miss the opportunity to taunt Billy. Victor's sarcasm doesn't stop there. He goes on to ask Sally, in a suggestive tone, if she can help Billy find a job at Marchetti, a company with which Sally had a deep connection. Sally, with a gentle but sharp smile, avoids answering directly, leaving Billy in a state of both confusion and annoyance. Billy tries to keep his cool, but Victor's sarcasm clearly cuts to his core. This sets the stage for a new tension between Billy and Victor, and hints at a turning point in Sally and Billy's complicated relationship. Jack and Diane decide that it's time to come clean. Their fake breakup, staged to throw off their enemies, finally comes to an end when they confess to Ashley Abbott. When Ashley walks in and sees Diane, she can't hide her surprise and confusion. "What's she doing here?" she asks Jack, her eyes filled with suspicion. "Do you want me to kick her out?" But Jack, cool as ever, just shakes his head and says that's unnecessary. "Diane's not going anywhere," he replies, leaving Ashley in a state of disbelief. Diane, with a confident air, explains that the breakup was all a ploy to protect the family from outside threats. Ashley, unable to hide her displeasure, is forced to accept this truth. However, this only adds to the tension in the Abbott household, which is already rife with conflict and secrets. Amy Lewis, after a difficult time, is staying at Nate's house. She was grateful for his help, but also worried that her presence might create unnecessary pressure. Amy couldn't help but ask, "Have you decided? Are you willing to meet your brother?" Her question touched on a sensitive issue. Nate, though not answering right away, was clearly considering it. This decision would not only affect him, but could also change his relationship with his family. Audra and the exploding jealousy. Meanwhile, Audra Charles couldn't hide her displeasure when she learned that Nate had a new roommate. Amy Lewis was not only in need of a place to stay, but also unintentionally became a source of jealousy for Audra. Audra couldn't hide her annoyed look every time she heard about Amy. Amy's presence was a reminder that she no longer had complete control over her relationship with Nate. This jealousy could push Audra into reckless actions, opening up a new series of conflicts in the story. Newman family, Thanksgiving on the farm. In a different setting, the Newman family enjoys a rare moment of peace. At their new farm, they gather to celebrate Thanksgiving, counting their blessings. Victor, Nikki, Nick, and Victoria, the pillars of the family, are all present, sharing stories and joy in a cozy atmosphere. But even in this seemingly perfect moment, underlying tensions between the family members cannot be completely hidden. Nick and Victoria discuss new business strategies, while Victor seeks to protect the family legacy from outside threats. Nikki, with her motherly instincts, tries to keep the peace, but it becomes clear that rivalry and conflict between family members are an integral part of the Newman family. The Young and the Restless brings a series of dramatic events and complex relationships. From Victor's sarcasm towards Billy, the revelation between Jack and Diane, to the turbulent emotions of Amy, Nate, and Audra, everything weaves together to create a rich picture of life in Genoa City. Whether it's the tension within the Abbott family, the rivalry between characters, or the rare reunion of the Newman family, each story has its own appeal, promising surprising developments in the future. Will the characters be able to overcome the challenges and hidden secrets? Only time will tell. Victor, the most powerful and cunning man in the world, proves once again that he never lets anything happen outside his control. This time, his target is the budding relationship between Claire and Kyle Abbott. Victor Newman and the mysterious motive. Can't help but intervene when he discovers Claire's growing interest in Kyle. Although it was none of his business, especially after the way he had treated Kyle in the past, Victor's instinct for control and obsession with protecting his family drew him into this story. He recalled painful memories from decades ago when his daughter, Victoria Newman, had a tumultuous affair with Cole Howard. Victor had objected and tried to stop it, but in the end, the affair happened anyway. Victor decided to take action. He took Claire aside and gave her a sharp warning, in an unmistakable tone. "Claire, I advise you to think carefully about this relationship. Kyle is not the one for you. He had a family, and I am sure Summer Newman and Kyle will always find a way back to each other." This was not just a warning, but also contained an underlying message. Kyle and Summer, along with their son, Harrison Abbott, were trying to mend their family. Victor suggested that Claire was just a temporary obstacle and that she should not interfere with a family that was reuniting. Victor continued, "I am not doing this to force you, but to protect you. But you should consider that not every relationship is worth sacrificing everything." Claire, choice and independence. Claire, who had always been known for her intelligence and determination, was not easily swayed. Victor's words, instead of making her back down, only fueled her inner resistance. "Thank you for your concern, Victor," Claire replied, her eyes challenging. "But I'm old enough to make my own decisions about my life. If Kyle and I want to move forward, it will be our choice, not yours." Claire couldn't help but notice the parallels between her story and what Victoria had gone through. She wondered if she would do what Victoria did, continue to move forward despite opposition, or if she would be strong enough to back down in the face of Victor's relentless pressure. Kyle and Summer, a family reunited? Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott was taking time to mend his family with Summer and their son Harrison. Their efforts did not go unnoticed by Claire. She saw how Kyle and Summer tried to regain the connection they had lost, and it made her wonder if she was intruding into a story she didn't belong in. Although Kyle still seemed to have special feelings for Claire, his love and responsibility for his family always came first. Claire's presence created a conflict in Kyle's mind, but he couldn't deny that his little family was still the most important thing. Victor, a manipulator or a protector? Victor continued to intervene, but this time, he tried to use a softer approach. "Claire, I only want what's best for you," he said, his tone seemingly filled with emotion. "But sometimes, letting go of an unsuitable relationship is the best way to move forward." But Claire wasn't so easily convinced. She understood that Victor wasn't simply trying to protect her. He was trying to control everything, a habit he had repeated throughout his life. This dramatic story is sure to continue to thrill and captivate audiences, as characters like Victor, Claire, Kyle and Summer never cease to surprise us with their bold choices and complex emotions. Let's see how Claire will deal with the pressure from Victor, and whether she can overcome the shadow of this powerful man to decide her own life.